Hi, my name is Emily McCord, and I'm a care coordinator for Kimbrough Law at the Gainesville office. When I tell folks what I do, the response seems to be, oh, you do elder care law or you do estate planning. And the answer to that is yes, but it's so much more. Not only do we have two outstanding estate planning lawyers, one of whom has been practicing for over 40 years and is also a tax expert. Then there's our dedicated paralegals and our other administrative staff. Then there's us elder care coordinators, and all of these roles are what sets us apart from the rest. So nowhere else will you find this dynamic of a team. It's this team that works together to get the best results for our families as quickly as possible. And I want to tell a little story to give you an idea of how our law firm is different. We will call this family Mr. and Mrs. Client. Often the adult children will come in on behalf of their aging parents, but this time it was Mr. and Mrs. Client themselves who came in. They were in their early 60s and weren't necessarily looking to retire this early, but life circumstances forced their hand. Her husband was a veteran and worked in VA hospitals all of his working career, and she was a nurse. And the reason why they came to us is because he was diagnosed with early onset dementia, specifically Lewy body dementia. She didn't know where to turn or what to do next, and luckily she found us. And we were not only able to help her obtain VA, but I was able to go into the home and assess him and his environment to see what safety modifications needed to be made to the home to keep him there as long as possible. Mr. Client was in the early stages of the dementia, so we were able to get the right legal documents to serve their purposes for their current circumstances and the likelihood that she would eventually be widowed. So powers of attorney, medical directives, and wills were executed and completed while he was still having lucid moments. Their situation was unique in that she was a nurse and so didn't need to necessarily bring in private home health care, but I encouraged her to think about beginning the process with private home care so that when it became too much for her, Mr. Client became accustomed to somebody else being in the home and being there to help. So when the time came, I advised them to talk to hospice so that they could maintain a longer relationship than just a few weeks with that hospice company. Mr. Client was eligible, and so they began to have hospice come into the home alongside the private home care. And so we were able to create this blanket of services to protect Mr. and Mrs. Client and to allow them to enjoy the time that they had. She knew that this disease progressed quickly, and she wanted to be prepared for what was going to come down the road and not have to clamber for the answers during a crisis that was inevitably going to happen. Mrs. Client ended up caring for Mr. Client for about 2 more years, and our firm was able to maintain a relationship with them throughout that time. I'm so thankful to work for a firm that sees it as a mission and directive to provide comfort to people. So please visit our website if you have any questions. Thanks.